Hi everybody, welcome to another late night stream. And as you see, it's U-Boat again, like on any of my standard streaming slots on Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. So once more we slip into the role of a German submarine commander in Second World War and continue our adventure, which started in real life something like a year ago. I started this complete playthrough through the war in the game U-Boat, and yeah, in this wonderful open world, and I feel pretty realistic simulation. I shared mission by mission with you, my dear friends, on Twitch, and since quite a while I am uploading the streams also to YouTube, so welcome YouTube just as well. Now at the moment, yesterday at the end of the stream we just dived away. We had sunk 2 merchantmen. It was a Liberty and a C3, and before diving I tried to torpedo an escort which was right behind us, so I fired a stern T5 sound-seeking torpedo, and that was pretty weird because somehow the torpedo exploded right behind our stern. It didn't do any damage, which is also surprising. So I wonder if it just left the tube and exploded, or if it was already on the way, because I think there was quite some delay. It might even be that it turned around and followed us. I don't know. But however, it didn't do any damage, luckily. And right after that we dived, and now here we are at 200 meters trying to hide away from the escorts, which are of course pretty pissed off because we have sunk 2 of their convoy ships. Well, we have 140 liters in the bilge, that's a bit. Yeah, let's reduce speed, we are just making too much noise like that. Now they are heavily pinging us. We have to be aware they might... Yeah, that late in the war, many of the escorts are equipped with hedgehogs. We have a leak. There is a leak occurring. Oh yeah. So Mr. Schneider, please attend to the repair of the leak. Maybe we would like to get a little bit further up to 190 meters to reduce the probability. Problem of the leaks is not only the intruding water, but the sound emission when I do repair them. So Mr. Schneider working on it. Discipline is alright. So having sunk the 2 ships really gives us a bonus. This is the plus 14 for bounty hunting. But okay, now we just lost that bonus. Discipline is reduced due to being detected. It's slightly due to fatigue and particularly due to the depth. And I have all the off-watch crew working for the officers. They're pinging us like crazy. Any scrap being produced by the repair? Nope. But I think this time the repair also didn't need any spare parts. That sometimes happens. So a lot of traffic above us. We hear the propellers. Yeah.
Aktuelle Tiefe 200 Meter.
I'm playing the game on almost maximum difficulty level, something like 97%. And yeah, I just have one. Oh shit, guys. You know what that sound means. That's the hedgehogs. We once calculated that the hedgehog might take a minute or something to drop down towards us at that depth. So flank speed, 90 degrees course change. Let's hope that we get away out of that hail of, yeah, this barrage of hedgehogs being fired and coming down on us. And the bad thing about the hedgehogs is that they actually have an impact pistol. So when they hit the boat or come close to the boat, they do explode. Not like the depth charge, which most often explode at the wrong depth.
195 Meter.
But now I have a feeling that the hedgehogs did miss us actually.
Meter.
Yeah, let's have some guys get the water out of the machine room into the center bilge. That's just a flare being fired. Reduce speed again to be silent. Ah yeah, we can turn off the electric support of the depth steers down here. The depth steers don't need to be that precise. And this reduces our sound profile a little bit more. But wow, we are really getting a hell lot of pings. Let's give it new save, new stream, new save. New, another hedgehog barrage being fired. Yeah, it's not too bad if we stay underneath the convoy, because the sound of the merchantman might well mask our own noise. And now making noise. Anyway, let's turn on the pump to get a bit of water out of the bilge while we are going flank speed. The additional sound of the pump doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, getting some water out. Please turn the pump off. Silent again. Please, guys, silence. Yeah, we got a bit of the water out, but by far not all yet. Depth charge some distance away. That might mean that there is another German submarine attacking from another direction and that they are hunting him now instead of us. That might help us to get away, but might become a problem for them. Yes. Okay, depth charge some distance away. That's good. Not for the other guy. Okay, that was hedgehogs, but I think they were pretty far away. So let's just ignore them and hope that this is not a severe mistake. Wow, they are dropping like hell on that other guy, if there is one. Another submarine, probably another German submarine which they are hunting. Yeah, we have completed the patrol. We have sunk 7,000 tons. Yeah, of course, the whole convoy is passing above us right now, which is good because their propeller noise camouflages our minimum noise that we are emitting. Maybe we should even stop. Oh. Depth charge is very close, so flank speed. Guys, turn on the pump as long as we are going flank speed. Yeah, we still have quite some good air quality, 80%. Yeah, we are getting... Let's stop damage. Obviously no leaks. Obviously no leaks. Equipment damaged. No leaks, still no leaks. So where are the injured guys? no serious injuries, obviously.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
A lot of damages to systems. The radar. And all the deck guns are damaged. Air and deck. The deck gun seems to be still fine,
75 Meter.
but the anti-aircraft guns are all damaged. Stern torpedo tube.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
They just gave us a heart beating, but we are fine still. I mean, no leaks. They're really giving us hell this time. It's quite some time ago that depth charges exploded that close.
195 Meter.
Last missions I was usually able to avoid that. They are still firing up there. Okay, we got all the water out. Very good.
190 Meter.
Stern torpedo repaired. Very good. Do we have additional? Yes. Okay. So Mr. Schneider is just about to create some new repairs parts out of spare parts out of debris. Oh shit. Hey, Uncle Bot. Nice to have you in, and thanks very much for the subscription. Nice to have you in again. I don't see any comment yet in the chat, so I hope that my chat is not buggy or something. So we're gonna abort that, and you please first repair the leak. Mr. Schneider, repair the leak, please. Okay, then somebody else, Mr. Arles. So please. Yeah, here we go.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Conroy?
Hey, Mr. Schneider. Get to the repair parts. Come on. What's your problem? Stop salvaging. Okay, then. Mr. Arles, please do it. I have no idea why Mr. Schneider was refusing to do that repair of the broken pipe. It was valuable time being lost. Meister Alles.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Oh, more damages. Readiness 33%. This is the deep leaks mod. So the more readiness we have, the less probable it is that we have these kind of minor leaks that we are getting right now. There would be much more of them down here at that depth if I hadn't primed the boat before on the depth.
In beträchtlicher Entfernung.
Okay, depth charge some distance ago, that's good. Uncle Bot, are you there? I'm a bit surprised that you don't make yourself visible in the chat, but thank you very much for the subscription. Yeah, don't feel obliged to say something in the chat. Perfectly fine. I was just worrying, hoping that my chat is not kind of buggy. Yeah, all the damages that we have right now, they are external damages. We can only repair them when we're back to the surface. Now get that water into the central bilge. Hey, okay. Not too much water in... Ah, here we have quite some water here. Yeah, they gave us quite a bit of a beating, but luckily no leaks to the hull. Yeah, under our keel there is almost unfathomable depths. So if we would drop down, there would be no sea bottom. To catch our fall. Now get that water into the central bilge as well. Still a lot of depth charge and considerable distance. Yeah, that's a strong indication that they are depth charging another German submarine somewhere. Oh no. There they have us again. They're pretty good this time. There we hear the depth charges.
200 Meter.
Exploding depth charges in some distance. Yeah, what our chance is that,
195 Meter.
yeah, the merchant convoy will just go on and on with constant speed of 7 knots on their course, and sooner or later the escort has to leave us alone to stick to their convoy.
Aktuelle Tiefe 190 Meter.
190 meters. We already went as deep as 140, I think, in test dives. To actually rule out faulty parts and replace them. And this is the process where you increase your boat's readiness. Yeah, most of you guys watching probably know the vanilla game is pretty, yeah, black and white. So you dive, and then somewhere here you exceed the crush depth, and then you die. And the only way to get leaks is by being attacked. Depth charges. Hedgehogs are being rammed. And this nice little and pretty reliable and stable deep leaks mod that alters it, that as soon as you get deeper than 150 meters, the probability increases that you have minor leaks, like a pipe blowing away or a gasket giving way. And in the beginning, the default probability is pretty high to get a lot of these leaks. So if you would be forced to go very deep in combat, you would have quite a problem. But what you can do is, to do test dives front up and successively go deeper under controlled conditions, and by this rule out faulty parts and increase the readiness, which means you have less probability next time when you go to that depth that you actually run into trouble. Hey, weight loss. Nice to have you in, by the way. How was your Saturday so far? So, Arthes is what? Is it still that? Yeah, the board game? This Star Wars board game. I have to admit that I'm not that familiar with that one. Arthas, is it a planet or something? Wartails, right. Okay, alright. Don't remember that place, actually. Is it... Maybe I haven't been there yet. It's not in the starting area, at least, right? I traveled through the starting area and to that area which is north of the starting area, but I never got much further. Okay, yeah, I remember the name Cortia, I think. But I never went through this gate into that province up to now. Oh, we have a new leak. So, Mr. Schneider again, please. Yeah, when you spend so much time down at these depths, even if you have a rather good readiness of the boat, it seems to be still inevitable that now and then something gives way and breaks. Yeah, he's repairing that crack in the evacuation hatch. Alright, thank you very much. Yeah, I saw that there was information about the new roadmap, but to be honest, I never checked it. But the guys are really constantly working on that game, and I really love that game. Bit of water also ran into the engine room. The diesel engine room, one has to specify.
200 Meter.
Ah, they are doing cavalry? Does it mean that you can ride a horse also by yourself? Or is it just the enemies?
Meter.
Interesting. The concept of the game, I love it. Yeah, by now we have 230 liters of water in the bilge. Yeah, okay, sounds interesting. I was just wondering right now when you mentioned it that maybe you would need a little bit larger combat maps if you're moving with higher speed on horseback. Oh no, pinged again. Let's give it a save. You never know what happens. And I'm not playing that hardcore that I would restart the complete campaign when I die. Some people do. And that's really a great challenge, but yeah, not quite up my alley. Yeah, sometimes you hear these noises of rivets being blown away by the pressure and it still would not create a leak. But it always scares you when you hear that sound. Yeah, it's interesting that in the galley you don't get that droplet symbol to click on, like you have it here, and in any other compartment when there is water in you get that droplet symbol to click it to get the information of how much water you have in the compartment, but for some reason the galley doesn't supply that icon. But I can pretty well live with this inconsistency. So we got one ping. Maybe they lost us again. There we have a damage again. Mr. Schneider, please. Yeah, we created one scrap metal again.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
For spare parts here in the stores, so we obviously can repair without having the spare parts right in his inventory. I wasn't sure about that. Seems to be sufficient to have it in the stores. Or maybe it's a kind of a damage where you don't need spare parts. Yeah, so he didn't use a spare part for that one. So let's get the water into the bilge, into the central bilge as well. We are accumulating a bit of water down here.
Herr Kapitän,
I should make sure that Mr. Schneider doesn't run
ich werde mich darum kümmern.
out of spare parts, yeah, but still looks alright. Mr. Ahlers,
Befehle, Herr Kaloin.
please. Yes. Oh, one more. You get quite a lot of these leaks.
Ja, Herr Kaloin, ich kümmere mich darum. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
205 Meter.
Zu Befehl, Herr Kommandant.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin? Meter. Tauchen auf.
Let's get up a bit.
Aktuelle Tiefe 200
Let's rise a bit closer to the surface.
Wassereinbruch in der Kombüse gestoppt.
Right, very good.
Meter.
Yeah, get the boat up a bit, please. Yeah, see, wow, 700 liters, they're already walking in the water up to their ankles. 440 liters. Shouldn't there be more? I had 700, so that's a bug. Or some of the water shifted to one of the other compartments.
Aktuelle Tiefe 190 Meter.
Okay, that's a bit weird. Didn't I have 700 liters a minute ago? Interesting. I never saw any inconsistency there before.
Meter.
So, hydrophone. There are still guys closing in on us. They don't give up. They don't give up. That fast-moving propeller there. Hear that? That's probably that escort approaching us.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Any damages? No. Oxygen level still more than 70%. Discipline 98, that's fine. Yeah, guys, you're doing great under these circumstances. Okay, by now the crew gets strained and stressed. But it's only a level of 10% yet. Yeah, it still looks like that there's 2 escort ships cruising on top of us. And the rest of the convoy seems to have passed by. What's the readiness? Well, 35% by now. It would be just a pity to switch to a new boat with that beautifully high readiness level. Yeah, if we might make it back to the surface, I should let Mr. Schneider do all the repairs, because he's the guy who is able to convert or to create scrap metal during the repairs. I think the other 2 guys can't do it. So if I let him repair all the 4 semi-damaged systems, I should end up with 4 scrap metals and could create 2 more repair parts, because if it goes on like that, we sooner or later are gonna run short of repair parts. Yeah, we do have a bit of water in the central bilge. Actually, I wouldn't call it water in the bilge anymore. The guys are actually walking ankle deep through the water on the bottom plates. Let's just hope that they're gonna give up now and finally leave us alone. Hydrophone. That guy is said to be moving away, but I think he is there since a while. And all the time it was said that he's moving away. But maybe he isn't. And what about the other guy? I fear that this guy is still circling and not making his way back to the convoy. So let's do the scenic approach once. Like Isley used to say, the infinitely prolonged periscope. Yeah, of course, one could regard this to be a bit of cheating, but on the other hand, it's just also nice to get these scenic views. It's nighttime, yeah, of course. There is one guy there. Okay, I thought there was a second guy close. So are you a hedgehog guy? Nope. Wow, look at the sea. We really have a heavy sea. You also see it with the destroyers. It seems like they're not hedgehog guys. And the other contact? There is no other ship, and the convoy has passed by a long time ago. So why do we still get this contact there? And this guy didn't yet give up. At least it seems like he doesn't have hedgehogs. On the forecastle. Let's give it a save. And let's, by the way, take a look at our accomplishments. So we have finished the patrol. So we see that marked patrol area has vanished because we sank 7,000 tons. Patrol accomplished. But what about the last stand? So we did the 50,000 here, and now we are just about, we are just 5,300 tons short of the next level of the last stand and of that next upgrade possibility. Oh, well, he seems to be passing pretty close in front of our bow. Yeah, we hear him, pretty noisy. Yeah, guys, the water is uncomfortable, but I don't want to turn on the pump right now. That might be just the noise that they need to detect us again. of us. That's the guy. Still looking for us. Luckily, it looks like he's the single. The only one who is still after us. Oh, one more rivet. Given away. I have one free crew specialization point, but I think my crew is fully specialized. So he passed above us without detecting us. That's good. Yeah. So actually, while we were depth charged, we got that message that some guys were injured, but they actually weren't. So maybe just minor injuries which didn't need treatment. Of our first 8 guys. Fading away. The propeller noise is fading away, but it might still be that he's just taking a circle and gonna come back. Not yet really sure if the guy is about to give up. Strain and stress, 11%, that's still very moderate. Yeah. Comparing to the circumstances, the crew is relatively cool. Yeah, we have high discipline, we have an experienced crew, and we have 3 commanding officers. Have we? Well, actually, 2. But for some reason we get the bonus 3 times. Now the sound really seems to fade away. Fingers crossed that the guy's not turning around and coming back. Yeah, and we still have plenty of oxygen left. Usually oxygen is gonna be critical first. At least in the style that I play the game when I'm hiding from the escorts. So battery capacity is never uncritical, and you can actually upgrade the battery capacity, and I did already. I think I already have level 3 or something battery upgrades. And well, the air quality just stays the same all the time. You can't upgrade that. Well, except for buying the potassium filters. What is CIC, by the way? Command station. Combat Information Center. Ah, yes, okay. Well, I mean, if you look at the assignment, I only have 2 officers assigned to the CIC, right? And then I have Mr. Grade assigned to the engines, these 2 guys assigned to repair, or is repair damage control also part of the CIC? Ah, okay, so... yeah, alright. Okay. So 2 of these won't give a bonus, alright. So according to this one here, I have Mr. Strauss, Mr. Ahlers and Mr. Schneider assigned to damage control, and only Joachim Lamprecht assigned as a leader, and Mr. Schulz is not being calculated as a leader then. So what if I tell Mr. Strauss to turn in? I can't. But if Mr. Strauss would leave the command station, then probably Mr. Schulz would be counted. Hey Colin, nice to have you in. How are you doing? Hope your weekend went fine so far. And yes, yeah. The sound is really waning away. Let's stay put for some time longer to be on the safe side. And then we might be on our way. Okay, so if I do that. Good point.
Funkraum besetzen.
Okay. Yes, but just changing this is not sufficient. So now I only have 3 officers.
Ja.
So try to assign him a new. Or switch briefly and back. Oh yeah. Yes, yeah, good point. Yeah, it's not a game breaker, but still, yeah, there's this list of these pretty yeah, not so obvious, but minor, well-known bugs which they hadn't been working on. So there is still a few things to do. Let's hope that we hear of the developers again.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Verstanden, Herr Kommandant.
Almost 400 liters of water. Yeah. But I pretty much enjoy to have these three guys being the officers of the watch and the fourth mechanics guy being able to be completely independent at all the time, only caring for the maintenance of the torpedoes. They haven't blocked you yet, yeah. So let's check the hydrophone. The guy is moving away. Very good. How far is he? 1 mile, okay, so let's be careful. But maybe let's give it a save and then do some time acceleration. Yes, they are struggling with the depth keeping, exactly. So I really wonder why they're not able to reach the 180 meters that I ordered. Alright, moving away, very good.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Four miles. What's the time? It's night time, but yeah, maybe still not the time to get to the surface. They could detect me with their radar. Yeah, of course, yeah, when you're stationary, it's much harder to keep the depth. So, I mean, this effect feels pretty realistic. It's just like I never saw it as extreme as we have it right now. That's why it makes me a bit surprising, but you're completely right that all these effects might well sum up in reality to make it more difficult. Hey, Jack. Yes, yeah. I don't know how long you are already watching, but right now it has been quieting down for a while. Yeah, nice to have you in, by the way. I hope you're fine. How are you doing? How was your Saturday so far? Yeah, we got quite some depth charges pretty close, but they only damaged outside equipment, and the other water was just coming in by the deep leaks mod that I have, which creates randomly little leaks when you're getting deeper and deeper. So yeah, they really pinged us badly, and they dropped quite a few depth charges upon us, which hit. They dropped several hedgehogs upon us, but they missed, luckily, and we heard a lot of depth charges being dropped in some distance away. So I guess that there was another German submarine maybe around, but we have no report of it being sunk or something. They are moving further and further away. That's good.
185 Meter.
Yeah, they're 10 miles away. So now let's successively get to the surface.
190 Meter. Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Kleine Fahrt.
Aktuelle Tiefe 195 Meter.
And guys, for now you can step away from battle stations.
Alarm beenden.
And I think we could also stop the silent running there.
85 Meter.
10 miles away.
Fahrt beenden.
They wouldn't hear us.
Kreiselkompass einschalten.
So guys, please, would somebody turn
180
off the blue light? Yep. Thank you very much. You don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over.
Aktuelle Tiefe 175 Meter.
Great album, by the way. If anybody recognizes what I'm talking about.
170 Meter.
Herr Kaloin?
Aktuelle Tiefe 165 Meter. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Yeah, by the way, let's see what's the weather meanwhile. 16 knots. I would say it's pretty heavy sea up there for 16 knots.
160 Meter. Meter.
I guess that I could already safely turn on the pump, right? Ah, well, let's get close to the surface. I think their Aztec works on further distances deeper, so when you're just very shallow, just on periscope depth, you can get closer to them without getting detected by Aztec as if you were really deep. there must be some kind of a cone, and I think this is kind of hidden in the game.
Torpedo-Rohr 3 gewartet.
Aktuelle Tiefe 130 Meter. ...120 Meter.
Yeah, like that. It takes a little while to get back to the surface.
115 Meter. Meter.
Yeah, on silent running, the automatic scheduling of the maintenance of the torpedoes is stopped, and so now Mr. Schneider
95
is
Meter.
doing all the maintenance of the torpedoes in a row. So he's pretty busy.
Meter.
Yeah, still more than 50% of air quality. And we are approaching the 50 feet. 50 meters.
70 Meter.
Let's go right away for the 20 meters.
Tauchen auf 20 Meter.
Strain and stress is pretty much under
60
control.
Meter.
So I think the only time that strain and stress reached 100%, I did it on purpose to stress the crew to rule out sea dogs.
40 Meter.
I had to figure out sea dogs and rule out people who are not so well suited. But I never had it accidentally, so they could do a little bit.
30 Meter.
In terms of balancing there.
Meter. Tauchen auf 10 Meter.
And then I would run out
15 Meter.
the snorkel and stay at periscope depth for a while, so that we're sure that when we get back to the surface we are not within their radar range. So guys,
Seerohrtiefe 10 Meter.
please. Yeah, there is lifeboats close, but I'm not gonna go for them, I think.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert.
Torpedo-Rohr 1 gewartet.
Now, please. Give me the snorkel. they are rigging the snorkel. Yeah, we discussed that once. My guess would be that you could only rig the snorkel while you're on the surface. And when you dive, you have it, and you have to get back to the surface to retract it again. Yeah, the sea is pretty choppy, so not good weather for going snorkel. I think they're constantly switching between electric and diesel engine because in these waves the snorkel frequently chokes. Yeah.
Tauchen auf 10 Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf
So.
E-Motoren wechseln. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln. Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
That's shitty.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
Auf E-Motoren wechseln. 15 Meter. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln. Auf
11
E-Motoren
miles.
wechseln.
I don't know, shall we just go back to the surface?
Aktuelle Tiefe
Auf
10
Dieselmotoren
Meter.
wechseln. Auf E-Motoren wechseln. Vorfluten.
Yeah, let's go deck a wash.
Meter.
Torpedo 2 gewartet.
Herr Kapitän? Herr Kaloy, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, let's man the radio room and send all the messages to the headquarters. Yeah, and here you see now that we are at the surface, we get the air quality improved. But it takes a little while to get the circulation through that small hatch that we have. And I think we can just finally blow all the tanks and get to the surface.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Funktelegramm gesendet.
So you can turn in again. Mr. Strauss, it's your off watch. And now Mr. Schneider is doing the maintenance of the stern torpedo. Hey Gerald, I hope it's no bad news about the headset, so I'm curious. I just hope that it's no bad news what you're talking about. So what is it? Okay, they sent it to your neighbor's house. But, so, could you get it there easily? I hope your neighbor is not something like 50 miles away. Look how beautiful that looks, how the boat cuts through the waves. Ah, we can retract the snorkel by now.
Torpedo 5 gewartet.
Hey, okay, so they had the box still there outside? So you think they actually took the headset? Weird. If it's like that, that sounds a bit like a case for the police. Take the box. Uh-huh. Wow, come on. That's really bad. Who wants to have such neighbors? Yeah, so maybe in the next weeks your neighbors might have trouble about the air magically exiting from their car's tire or something like that. So, Mr. Hinrich, Mr. Schneider, please do the repair. Yeah, you can tell them it just didn't arrive on your doorstep. You even have the photo as proof, right? But that business with the neighbors, that's really amazing. What kind of assholes are these guys? Yeah, if even this doesn't work, that it is put to the neighbors, then, I mean... well, yeah, I'm just sorry for you that you have all that trouble.
Bestätige.
So, quite some work to do. Some stuff to repair. So maybe I should share the spare parts that these guys have. Let's transfer 3 spare parts there. Ah, by the way, let's not forget to turn on the pump.
Lenz, Pumpe einschalten.
Next device
Ich
repaired.
erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Yeah, too bad. Too bad. That's really ugly, yeah. So this patrol, we need a hell lot of spare parts. Okay, now he's creating spare parts. Let him do that from the scrap metal that he salvaged. Okay, the bilge is clear of water again. Very good. Navigation correctness still 90, that's perfectly fine. Now the question is what to do next. We still have plenty of torpedoes, haven't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. And we still have 2 in the outer compartment. So Mr. Arles, would you be so kind and get that torpedo into the bow torpedo storage internally, please. So here, Mr. Grade, okay, so you could step away briefly from the engines and help us here, please. So a lot of work to do at the moment. Okay, yes, we don't have the radar available because it's damaged. This is why the range is not shown. Maybe I should have repaired the radar first. That would have been smart. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of traffic there on the fore part of the deck. They're all working on the external torpedo storage. So now, Mr. Schneider, if you were so kind and please next repair the radar system, passive radar detection system.
in Sicht. Peilung 135 Grad.
Okay, it works again.
Ja?
Okay, there they are at the edge of detection range. And if it is at the edge of our passive detection range, then it should be clearly out of range for them. Yeah, Colin. Definitely not. You're right. So that would be a nice feature if it would be blocked to do this when you have a rough sea like that. 100% right. Not quite realistic. See, the deck is flooded most of the time. No chance to do it in this sea. 100% right. So, meanwhile, Mr. Schneider is creating a few more spare parts. Okay, now finish the repairs, please. Yeah, this takes quite a long time to get the torpedoes into the internal stores. Yeah, look what they're doing there. Real artists.
Herr Kaloin?
Herr Kaloin.
So, by the way, allow me to be AFK just for 1 minute. What a spectacular thumbnail picture we have here. Alright, back again. So, just need a little snack. Got me some cashew nuts. I hope me chewing doesn't disturb our stream too much. There, he's still working on the flak gun, the anti-aircraft gun. We could go for that convoy just once more. I think in terms of torpedoes, in terms of ammunition, they are rather persistent. So I would expect that if I follow that convoy now and attack it again, that the game would actually keep in mind the ammunition that they already dropped upon me. Do they actually leave the convoy when they run out of depth charge? I think it wouldn't make sense, but sometimes I saw that behavior, that escorts just left.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Yeah, they're just moving on. Miles, so why not?
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Why not staying on their heels before we endlessly, spend endless time and hours and days to find a new convoy? Why not harvesting this one a third time or second time? Yeah, that's why I don't understand that. It wouldn't seem logical to me, because they could still detect. And they could still bluff away submarines. I mean, first thing is you need to force the submarines to dive so that they can't fire torpedoes anymore. And the submarines wouldn't know that you are out of ammo. So that's what I thought, that it is not, it doesn't feel realistic to me that they leave the convoy. Alright, all systems repaired.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kalon? Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Yeah, alright, so now new strategy. This convoy is still moving on the same course, so let's just move around it once more like we did before and put ourselves in front of them again and repeat the attack. Yep. Maybe it's that.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht. Herr Kapitän?
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi? Herr Kaloi?
Kurs setzen.
Torpedo-Rohr 2 gewartet.
Ja? Herr Kapitän?
Wind speed still 60 knots. Yeah, quickly head back to the base and restock to fight another day, yep. That might be a valid argument. Yep.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Ja? Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
Yeah, this is just the convoy that we see there. Distance now. We are on a parallel course, 9 miles away, and distance to them it's 16 miles.
Kurs setzen.
Yeah, maybe we should keep a bit more distance, and maybe
Äußerste Kraft
we should
voraus.
go a bit more flank speed.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
One contact
Ja?
and the other contact. Oh, look at that. That looks so weird. I mean, to be honest, this animation looks ridiculous. They must have some kind of a tackle or something rigged. Or scaffolding supporting the torpedo while they do this. Okay, it's stuck. I had that before.
Ja. Ich benötige Ihre Unterstützung. Folgen Sie mir.
Herr Kapitän?
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Ja.
Ah no, it's still moving. The bar is still increasing. I thought it was stuck, but it isn't. Heavy sea at night. Yeah, well, Colin already remarked that. It's not quite realistic to do this changing of torpedoes, or well, getting torpedoes internal. That it's not quite realistic that it's done at this sea. With this swell going. Look at that. The whole deck underwater. You would also get a shitload of water into the bilge.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Jawohl.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Ich warte Ihre Befehle.
setzen.
Ja?
Yeah, I am assuming that they haven't changed speed. That they're still moving with these 7 knots that they had all the time.
Ja?
Yep. In real life, that wouldn't be smart, but come on. It's not heated in the simulation, so let's not overdo the role playing if it's not in the game mechanics. But 100% agree, you wouldn't do it with this swell, and you wouldn't do it at that speed, yeah. 100% decor. You mean why not doing some role play? Yeah. I mean, I think it was you who once said that this game is The Sims in a submarine, right? Wasn't it you? Yes. Yeah. I mean, to do it at night feels reasonable to me. Or at least, say, earlier in the game at night would feel reasonable, because then you would have no air patrols. Yeah, yep. Okay, so you really go so far into the role playing that you play it like it were more realistic, yeah. Hey, fly fishing, nice to have you in. How are you doing? Hope you had a good Saturday. Yeah, that's the point at night. Everything is much more risky to work at night, yeah. On a slippery deck, yeah. So what would be harder? To succeed in a submarine or to succeed in a destroyer? I think it changed, right? In the beginning of the war, it was probably easier to succeed in a submarine, and late in the war, it was much easier to succeed in a destroyer. Would be my guess. So let's pace on.
Konvoi in Sicht. Peilung. 70 Grad.
70 degrees. We already have
Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy.
eyes on them, obviously. One
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
and two. Alright guys, I'm very sorry because this stream is so beautifully crowded, but tomorrow I have to get up a little bit earlier, and so it's reasonable to go to bed. It's 2 o'clock around here, and we had 2 hours of stream, so we didn't sink anything in the stream tonight, but we escaped from that very successful attack yesterday, so I would call this a bit of a success. We were depth charged pretty tough, but we did it. We actually did it. Yeah, okay. Also, the discussion is, yeah, at least you would have some fresh air. You could open a hatch and get some fresh air on the destroyer. Yeah, okay, it was a pleasure to have you, weight loss. Fly fishing, sorry that I am leaving just when you arrive. Colin, great to have had you in again. Whom else did we have? Gerald, I hope that you succeed in getting this thing resent from the supplier. Jack, if you're still there, was a pleasure to have you in. Yeah, so guys, I think I'm gonna do some streaming tomorrow night as well. I have been there all the time, just great. Yeah, please, nobody feel pushed by me to join the chat. It's perfectly fine if you just watch silently. But of course, I'm always happy to have some conversation with you guys. So, have a good night and see you then. Bye-bye. Ja, ebenfalls schlaf auch gut. Gute Nacht. Good night, everybody.